Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Fitness Business Life podcast. MJ Lennon here, and I'm along with my friend Steve O'Clark. Steve, what about you, mate?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Dude, excited for today's episode because I'm going to tell you why this was triggered, and this is going to sound a wee bit nutty. This is going to sound a wee bit mental to the listener. I was walking down the street outside the gym the other day, and this guy was walking up the street and he just looked like one of those horrible bastards. You know, you see them in life where he's like, he's not a nice dude. You can just tell.
Yeah.
His facial expression, how he carried himself, his posture, everything about him just looked fucking horrible, if I'm being completely honest, right? And he was eating something and he finished it, or he finished most of it. It was a bar of something, I don't know what it was. But then after he finished it, he just threw the wrapper and the remaining of whatever it was that he was eating across the street. And the look on his face was, he actually looked content with what he had just done. You know,
it wasn't a problem.
It was, someone else can just pick up my shit. Someone else can look after my fucking problem. And I was just like, everything about me deep down, like the old me just wanted to punch him in the face. But then the new me looking at him, and I knew deep down, now this was like, he only just fucking threw a wrapper on the floor. Like, let's face it, if a kid done this here, it's a mistake, they're not aware of it, they've probably just seen someone else doing it, they're not fully aware. But this is a fully grown man who's aware of his actions, and he just chose to just get rid of his fucking wrapper. And it's a small thing, but I knew by looking at this guy that he's never going to fucking amount to nothing in his life. Because the episode we're going to talk about today is how all these wee small things in your life, like if you're willing to, just do the least amount possible across your life in small areas, then chances are that you're not going to amount to any fucking thing big.
Yeah, I suppose like when people are, you hear the saying, don't judge a book by its cover, but sometimes by the cover you can kind of have a good guess of what's going to be inside. So I suppose that's the experience you had.
Yeah, I mean, I've been dealing with people like that all my life. And, before we go on here, I suppose we should say that no one's fucking perfect, right?
Yeah.
No one's perfect. Everyone has done some stupid, bad shit, whatever. Like, I've been in fucking, I don't know how many street fights, barroom brawls. Like, everyone does bad shit at some stage in their life, and stupid. No one's perfect. But the purpose of the episode today is, I suppose, to really trying to make people, the listener, aware of their actions and how it can impact the rest of their life.
Yeah, almost like a reflective kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. So, do you have any like wee small sort of, you could probably call them habits really, that you try to implement that you feel will, paint a better all around picture of your day, of your life, of,
The first one is be kind. It doesn't matter who to, whether you meet a stranger in the street, you're talking to someone at the till of a shop or something like that, just be kind. And with those kind of, small interactions that you have, you can come across a friendship or whatever. So, people that we train with in the gym, stuff, like they come in the door, and some people, tired or whatever, and it's my job to make their day a wee bit brighter and make that hour the best hour of their day. So one way of doing that is to be kind to the person, have fun with the person, and get to know them on a personal level and stuff. And along down the line, it brings about like a mutual respect for each other. So I'm like invested in that person because I'm willing to take the time out to ask them how they are and ask them about their family, their friends, how work's going, those kinds of things. And then in turn they have that connection with me, and they'll respect what I have to say to them in terms of whatever it is we're going to do in the gym. Or they'll ask me about my day and how things have been going and stuff. At the end of the day, they all know that I'm at work as well. So you're like, oh, it's been a long day. They can kind of relate to that. But even in terms of, like I said before, the respect that goes along with that, you're going to come across people, like you said at the start there, who kind of don't care or have this kind of almost like a vibe about them that, you know, someone else will look after it, or that's not my job, or I don't have to do this, or I don't have to do that. And even if you do come across those people, still be kind. You know what I mean? Like you will learn to kind of distance yourself from them because of the negativity that comes alongside it. But I mean, just because they're being an asshole doesn't mean you have to stoop down and start being an asshole too.
Yeah.
Still be kind, still be you, and the majority of the time it works in your favour. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that.
And what about you?
So I have a few wee small habits now that I try to implement in order to, I know it sounds mad, but I just think that implementing these habits will help me live a better life. Like this week, and I suppose this is probably playing in my head. The reason for the guy, you know, just throwing his wrapper away, recycling.
Big recycler.
Yeah, I have this last couple of years, I've kind of gotten a wee bit of fucking obsessed with recycling. And like I'm walking past bins and if I see plastic bottles in it, I'm kind of like, why the fuck didn't that person just put it in a recycling bin? Like how much effort does it actually take to go and put it in a recycling bin? And again, I suppose it's just like being aware. I mean, I'm not by any stretch of the imagination some environmentalist. Like I'm not here to kind of force this on people. Like even if you're not thinking about doing it for the environment, even if you're just thinking about doing it for your own, like for your own self-esteem in a way.
Yeah.
It sounds mad, but I'm a big believer in that these wee small things that we're talking about today add up to big things. And if you're willing to accept, you know, it's okay, I'll just throw this plastic bottle in a bin here, like it's not going to do any harm, when in reality it is going to do harm. I just feel like the universe has a way of understanding that you're willing to not do the small things well.
Yeah, it's like settling for mediocrity.
I just
one of those kind of
things. It sounds fucking nuts. Like people listening to this here are probably going to go, dude, you're full of shit. Like it's only a plastic bottle, but it's not only a plastic bottle. You know, we talk about it. Let's say in the gym environment, we were talking about tidiness just before we came on here. So, like if I walk past a small piece of paper on the gym floor and I say, sorry, it's just a piece of paper. It's not really.
Yeah.
It's not like this is an environment that people come into and they expect it to be clean, they expect it to be tidy, and we want it to look that way.
Yeah.
So it's not just a piece of paper. Like there's more fucking to it.
Yeah.
You get that?
There's a reason as well. Like if you walk past a piece of paper, someone else has the same kind of idea. They'll walk past a piece of paper, and then all of a sudden there's fucking 20 bits of paper lying about, and
exactly.
It looks like a bin.
I suppose that's the best way to put it. It has a knock-on effect.
Yeah.
If you're willing to let the wee small things go, it does have a knock-on effect, and it creates a bigger effect. And then once that bigger effect is created, then the universe really tells you to go fuck.
Yeah, and again, linking back to what I was saying about the respect, if you don't respect the place that you're working in and the place that you're spending your time in, then why should anybody else respect it?
Yeah.
They just go around and do whatever the hell they want to.
100%. You know what I mean? 100%. I get that. So I was talking about sort of recycling. Another sort of small wee habit that I've picked up from, I always remember Pedro's talking about this, and he talks about the inside of your car.
Right.
And he says, like, if you're willing to, accept a dirty car and shit man all over the place. Now again, I should say here, like, I have two kids that are 6 and 7, right? They have no intentions of keeping my car dirty.
It's like their job to do the opposite.
Yeah, it's their job to do the opposite. But it's like, like how much effort does it actually take to go, right, let's just fucking clean some of this shit out here? And it's like what we were talking about before we came on again, is self-esteem. It's keeping a promise you've made to yourself, which creates self-esteem. So if, like, let's say, you've got a car and you're like, right, I'm going to keep this car nice and tidy. Or let's say you've just got it cleaned and you're like, right, the car's going to stay this way. And then you've made a promise to yourself, but you haven't kept it. That's when your self-esteem starts to lower. It's not even nothing to do with what you've said to anyone else, because people have a tendency to say, oh yeah, I'm going to, I'm going to lose a stone and whatever. And then if they don't do it, they don't lose the weight. doesn't it?
Doesn't matter.
I don't care. But when they've promised themselves that they're going to do it and they don't fulfill that promise, that's when their self-esteem starts to lower. And I just think that all of these wee things, again, combined, just make up for the bigger picture.
Yeah, like I know whenever I go to get my car is like, it's a mess as well.
Yeah.
You know, if it's all our stuff in the back of the car, if it's even stuff that I picked up in the shop and put it into the side console, the band gear in the boot of the car and stuff, sometimes it's just a storage unit at times. But like when I go and get the car cleaned, I say the same thing. I say, the car, I'm never eating in the car again. I'm not allowing this to get a mess. And even when you get into the car, it feels brilliant. You
I know,
that's what I
was going to say. Like, you almost feel like a sense of,
it's
like zen, I know.
And then to kind of shit all over it and throw tins all over the place, like I do it myself, so you know I can relate to it. But I suppose I must start trying harder then.
Yeah,
keeping my car clean. That's something that I need to work on. That's my fault. I need to work on it.
So the other day, the boys, they get in there, so I got a new car, and the boys get into my car for the first time. And I warned them, I was like, boys, no food in the car, no wrappers in the car, none of your shit in my car. So they kind of, they kind of just hate me or whatever. They're kind of getting to the age now, they're kind of just like, yeah, so they're kind of getting that age. But the other day I went out and I seen the back of the seat already. This is only after one day. Feet marks.
Get it.
So now my car has been immaculate since I got it, right? And I walked out the other day and I seen him and I was like, Katrina, I'm going to collect the kids from school today. And she was like, why, what's wrong? And I was like, it's okay, I'll go and collect them. So I got them out of school and I was like, boys, now look, Daddy got a new car. I know it's not top of your priority. Like, I know it's not more important than what's going on YouTube, what's going on in Roblox right now. But fucking keep my car clean.
Get your feet down off the seat.
Oh, God. I suppose, another wee habit. And again, you kind of notice this, especially, public toilets, right? People just fucking pissing on the seat and then just leaving it there for the next person to come along.
Yeah.
Like you were talking about being nice, like how fucking disrespectful is that?
Exactly, yeah. It's crazy. Like you don't even have 2 seconds to fix it. It's a pretty, like, I feel embarrassed if I hit the toilet seat, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh shit, I gotta clean that because I don't want someone else coming in saying, oh, that guy just pissed all over the seat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that embarrassment and knowing that someone else has to come and clean it, I don't know how people can handle that. Like, even in my head, that would be playing. I'd be out in the gym. If I went to the toilet and done that, went out and started coaching people, and I went, right, I'll be back in a second going to the toilet. I'd be like, no! I would be playing in my head for the full hour. I'd have to go and clean it.
Do you know what it is? People, I think they kind of think, all right, in that environment, you would do it in that environment, it's okay, or you would do it at home or whatever. But, if it's just a public toilet and some stranger coming along, it doesn't fucking matter.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. Like what you were saying about earlier is, even if you don't know someone, you'll be nice to them. Like, you be nice to the people around you. And even if they're dickheads to you, like even if the next person coming along about to sit on your pissed up toilet seat is a dickhead, it doesn't matter. For your own self-esteem, just look after your own shit and, do good things, and good things will happen to you as well, like I promise.
Yeah. So we've kind of talked about a few things that, we're kind of good at already. Like we habits that we do that, that other people should probably pick up on or think about changing or whatever. So have you got anything that you need to work on?
Yes. Holy fuck, I'm glad you said.
Because we're not perfect.
Well, no one is. No one is. No one's perfect. That's for sure. I'm glad you brought that up, actually. Yes, so I definitely do need to up my game around the house. That's for sure. Although I will say this here, right? Me and Katrina were kind of talking about this last night, and she brought it up about me doing more work around the house, and I was like, Katrina, like, I'm not shitting you. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, but here's what I would be willing to do. I would be willing to pay someone to come in and do that. I would be willing to do that if it caused her less hassle, and if someone who was happier to do that would come in and do that job. So here, if you're listening to this episode,
last week was a sales pitch. This one is an advert for a cleaner.
I'm looking at a cleaner. If you're listening to this episode, I'm looking for a cleaner. I'm just fucking with you. I would no. Generally though, I would pay someone to come in and do that if it meant that I could do the things that I was good at focusing at. I would do that generally. But even at that, I should still focus a little more on it, and I should still do a little more around the house. So last night I committed to cooking 3 times a week.
Right.
Like,
are you cooking tonight?
I'm cooking tonight.
What are you making?
I have burgers and chips.
You're going to the chippy. Don't lie. You're going to the chippy before Katrina gets home.
No, I got burgers in the fridge, but I'm going to go all out on the burgers. I'm going to get like pickled gherkins. I'm going to get nice cheese. I'm going to get a nice brioche bun. And I'll probably cook some sweet potato chips as well, just to make it a nice wee dinner. But I've committed to cooking 3 days a week. Normally, like, you know, I cook the odd breakfast in there, but Katrina's lucky if I even cook like once a week. But you know, the thing is, right? When I'm doing it, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. You're right, I could go to the fucking chippy.
Yeah.
You know, it comes back to the same thing we're talking about. I could go to the chippy, I could just order something and say here,
someone to do it.
or pay someone to do it. Yeah. But you know, if I'm being true to myself and I'm doing the small things to the best of my ability, then I'll just cook, you know, a nice, healthy meal, because I would see it as a healthy meal. And yeah, so definitely, yeah.
It'll bring another sense of like structure to those days anyway as well. You know, like you've got a to-do list basically for each day, and then on those 3 days, it's just something else to fit in.
For sure, man.
For sure. If you're saying, look, I don't think you're working out enough, you're like, no problem, I'll do more.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be a problem, but you just gotta fit it in somehow.
What do I do, man? What do I do? Apart from the car.
The car doesn't bother me too much, to be honest with you. Like, I don't mind it. Yeah. And to be fair, I don't have very many passengers who are going to get into the car to see that anyway, so I don't really mind that too much. I would say, well, cooking wise and stuff, I do a lot of the cooking in the house, and I enjoy it. What I don't enjoy is cleaning up afterwards. So like me and my girlfriend and stuff would sit down and eat our dinner and then leave it sitting, and maybe do the dishes the day after. People are going to think it's disgusting, but it's the few hours of the day that me and her get to spend time together. You know what I mean? By the time she comes home from work and stuff and we've eaten our dinner. I think I'd probably have to work on sticking to the things that I say that I'm going to do. Right. A lot more.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Or like, just commit the list.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I think that the things that I'm committed to at the minute, I'm kind of on top of. It's the extra things that I want to do.
Well, we should say actually. So, how long ago was it now? I said to you about our trip to San Diego. About
a few months ago.
So your weight loss goal, what was it?
Stone before I went away.
Right. Where are you at the minute?
I haven't been really weighing myself, but in the last few days I've been weighing half a stone off.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm halfway there with a couple of weeks to go.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome,
and I'm going to get it.
You know what I mean?
Like I've been doing more, and you know my head's in it. Like so, the commitment there isn't going to fall away.
That's class.
So all the extra things that I should be doing. Will I make it public now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we'll do it. I'm going to be on screen a wee bit more on Instagram.
Holy shit.
More videos, more posts, more helping people out, helping people move forward.
Okay, so how often are you going to do this?
I'll post out of 7 days a week, I'll say at least 5 on my main feed.
Okay.
And then video, I'm going to be realistic. I'm going to say 3 to 4 times a week.
Okay, so your Instagram page is Coach Stevo Hybrid Fitness, isn't it?
Coach Stevo Hybrid, yeah.
Coach Stevo Hybrid. So go on and follow this man. He is going to sort your shit when it comes to training, nutrition, everything else. Kurt, I'm looking forward to that, mate. So, you know, what do we want to say? Let's say, you know, that fucker who threw who just carelessly threw his wrapper across the street and just thinks that some other fucker can just pick my shit up later on.
I think one of the takeaway things for it is like a self-respect kind of thing. You know, like I said, like I don't care about my car being messy. If you have a bad habit, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. You know, like you've got a dirty car, or whatever, and it's not the end of the world. But if you think that it's having an impact on you, or you think that there's a way of making things better, you go, I really shouldn't be doing that. Then there's the opportunity to change it. Do you know what I mean? And it's something as simple as, like you said, putting a plastic bottle in a different bin. Yeah. Chances are they're right beside each other as well. So it's not going to make you go too far out of your way.
No.
You know what I mean? If you have something in the car to eat, bring it into the house and throw it in the bin. It means that the car isn't going to get so messy.
Yeah. Food bins too. Food bins. Like, just separate the shit, put the food where the food goes, and put the plastic where the plastic goes.
Yeah. And the thing with, I think the overall kind of thing with, you know, throwing things on the floor or pissing on the toilet seat, it's just having ownership of your own things. You know what I mean? Like, you know, not having that sense of almost entitlement, I suppose. You know, like, I'm going to throw this down, and sure, there's someone whose job it is to pick my shit up anyway, or it doesn't matter. One of the guys in the gym's going to wipe the toilet seat, or, you know, going to put my weights away, or whatever.
I think my fucking nails.
Yeah, or fuck. I forgot all about that. I forgot all about that. Well, I suppose whoever it was must have been away, because I haven't noticed it in the last few while. But yeah, just having a sense of ownership and a wee bit of pride in yourself, I suppose, not even in your appearance or anything like that. That's a totally different thing. But, you know, make things a wee bit easier. Like I said a while ago, leaving things a bit better than when you found them is always a good kind of direction to be going in.
Yeah, leave it better than you found it. Yeah. Love that.
What about you? What's your couple of takeaways then? Things to think about for guys who are listening.
I always like the sort of, like, if I see like success leaves clues, I always think about that, right? And, you know, let's say you want to be a particular type of person, right? Let's say you want to be, you know, just a good living person. Like, if you're listening to this here, and like, obviously, you know, the clue is in the name, the Fitness Business Life podcast. Like, we're here to help people on all those fronts. So if you're listening to this here and you're trying to improve yourself and you want to be a good person, like, throughout all of your actions, I would say just kind of think, like, would the type of person that I want to be act in this way?
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of silly, because this dude kind of just threw a wrapper away, and I kind of think, you know, does he want to improve his life? Like, because if he wants to improve his life, like, does he want to get better? And if that's the case, then if someone who wanted to improve their life and have a better quality of life and get better and add value to the world, would they act in a way that they would just carelessly fucking throw a wrapper away?
Yeah.
And just expect someone else to come along and pick it up?
Yeah.
They wouldn't fucking do that.
Nah.
Do you know what I mean? So success leaves clues. And what I've noticed a lot of the time, just through being around you know, people that are successful, what I would deem successful anyway, they're very, like, meticulous about everything that they do.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, you could say it's borderline obsessive about some of the things.
But it's what they care about, though.
It's what they care about. I mean, I have become borderline obsessive about recycling.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fucking force it on anyone. Like, I can't control other people's actions, but I just know myself that this is the thing that sort of matters to me. And I know that if I want to like, be a better person, to me, it matters massively. So then I'm going to do it to the absolute best of my ability.
Yeah. And
I think just thinking along those terms is, again, would the type of person that I want to be act in this way? And if not, then don't do it.
Yeah.
Do you know?
And if you're trying to better yourself as a person, then maybe you'll leave that kind of like an image for someone else who wants to better themselves, then maybe model themselves after the things that you do. You know what I mean? You're leaving a bit of an incentive for other people to better themselves as well.
Fuck, of course, mate. Like, if I can influence my children, like, that's the most important thing to me, and should be the most important thing to anyone on this planet. If I can influence my children to take my good habits and to implement them in their own life, and you know, so that they become success, whatever way they deem to be a successful life or a successful career or whatever. If they can take my good habits and apply them, then I will die a happy man.
Yeah.
Quite easily.
Great way to finish a podcast,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So how you do anything is how you do everything.
Brilliant. So if you like this podcast, please leave us a review, give us a 5-star rating, and don't forget, please share with your friends, because we're all out here to help you out.
Good. Peace out.